And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Factorio, where we got some cryogenic science packs to drop off, so we can get, well, not necessarily get the science going yet, because I think we still have some here waiting to be absorbed by the machine, yeah. So, the machine probably could just use more, but really we're waiting on the glowing science. The hibiscus still needs to go running around, picking more up. Oh, I have you set to... it's the wrong planet to pick it up. You're supposed to be picking it up from there. There we go. Another wave of bullets into the mechanism. Yeah, at this point I think this turret does... well, for most of it, it actually still has bullets, so should be taking a lot less damage. There we go, so we're just missing the 10 asteroid reflectors and getting enough ice slash... yeah, not enough ice so that we can run the chemical plants. Thing running. It is to a certain degree very thirsty. Okay, we almost have enough water to keep the thing running stably. Do you want the ice to back up a little bit more? Yeah, there comes some regular bullets. I'll build the system out. We're almost back at Novice. And you're actually ready for launches to send stuff up. In fact, you've got one going. Okay. What we're short on is rocket fuelable stuff. Oh, and you're supposed to be set to grabbing it. Not that there's any need to necessarily be grabbed right now, but eventually there will be. Okay, we're back here. You're picking up the stuff you're missing. Still making that. Still got enough ice in the system that shouldn't be an issue with the ice. And to be fair, if I really need more ice, we can... that's with a monocle solution again. Oh. That's not working because there's no pipe there. But yeah, suppose on Novice, assuming what we built is up and functioning, and it isn't because I forgot to give it any power. We can start trying to build a new, or start designing a new nuclear reactor setup. So for this reactor setup, we're going to want it to be 2 reactors, I think, side by side. So we can have a belt come in supplying fuel, and a belt going out, returning the spent fuel. Okay, these are going to output, assuming it's working right. Final product might not be working right, but so that's a question for later. It should output about, because of the neighbor bonus, should be outputting 160 megawatts. Each of these consume 10 megawatts, so we need 16 of those. So compare that to the bulb fizzle. The bulb fizzle should be producing a fourth of that. The bulb fizzle only needed 4. Whereas on here in Novice, this one improved is going to need 16. So 8 each side instead of 4 each side, or 2 each side. Oh, and I suppose here on the planet, these will need power poles. In space, they won't. I might as well design it with power poles anyway. We'll give this a ability to check what the status is. In the space version. And then here on the planet, I don't need to do it with ice, because this is the planet we got liquid oceans. I'll go ahead and design it with the ice makers involved, so that we can see what that'll take up space-wise. And then we'll make a blueprint of it, and then we'll tear it apart, I suppose. And then replumb it with real water, planetary water. So each of these are going to consume just over 10 water a second. These output Melting ice, 20 a second. So we need 2, let's say 2 and a spare. Well, yeah. Actually, I suppose 4 side plus an extra wouldn't hurt. And then we'll have some extra water. Because to be fair, the engines are going to need water. We need some water for the engine as well. And that's an approximation of like the minimum size of the power plant. At which point, put that away. I don't actually need these portions. Oops. Or the terrestrial one, which we are going to finish building and operate. Surprised. We set up some nuclear reactor production. What are you missing? Copper. Because you have no power, because I forgot to give any power to the foundry. That would do it. Oops, no, into pipe. Okay, and then this just needs to run to the ocean. Yeah, that might not be the best water source to run to in hindsight. Instead, let's just leave these. Still don't want that pipe. We do have water over here, I suppose, so we should probably go over to this water. Okay, there's a water line. There be the water line. Then that's the trash line, I suppose. Tackle line going back. Okay, so once the power plant's set up there, that should be a functioning plant. How goes your construction? You do have a decent amount of ice now floating around. And with some exceptions, we actually have bullets in the turrets, so think we'll set off. Stop being at Vulcanus, please go to Novice. And the first thing we're going to rebuild is we're going to try to put that, basically a version of that nuclear power plant on the ship. To provide us our power needs. And the accelerator is going. It, of course, goes piling through all the water in the ship very rapidly. Let's see if we actually get out halfway before the ship stops working. Well, it got a tenth of the way. And we've seen no signs of slowing down, at least. That's the last of the ice in the system. Slowing down. Will it make it to the halfway so it drifts in the rest of the way? That's the question today. Looks like maybe no. Although we are getting more ice, so what's causing you not to run? Shortage of oxidizer, we got shortage of calcite. Okay. Well, for the moment, prioritize left to keep it on the belt, so we've actually got oxidizer going, which is over here. Okay, so we've just been losing half the stuff before it gets the oxidizer. That's what's been going on. Okay, at least it looks like it's drifting. Oh no, it's drifting away from us. There we go. So we gotta get the engines going, so we start drifting, so we can get past the halfway point, so we can drift the right way. Bomb fizzle's here. We're on the bomb fizzle, so I can ship myself out if I need to fix anything anywhere. Got launch facilities ready. But we don't got any more of that. And apparently starting to just straight up run low on heights. All things. Previously we're utterly backed up on it, and now we're running short on it, yeah. Taking more damage on the ship, which was kind of expected. Oh, well, that was less expected. I wasn't expecting the entire frontal array to fail. Well, it's got enough stuff up front, it will probably arrive at the destination before it completely breaks. And at least it'll run out of big stuff to run into. And it stops. So we run out of big stuff to run into. So it should be able to undergo real maintenance again. Yeah. Bring it to the platforms, bring it to the repair packs. Should probably also request the turrets given enough time. What are you waiting for? Oh, we have you requesting, yeah, don't request the solar panels anymore. There we go. That gets the fritter moving a little faster. I'm not sure if we've got enough science at Glubba yet for it to be launching any. No, we got about 3/4 of a launch. That whole setup's dead in the water for the moment. So I wanted to go faster, we're going to have to go manually restart that side. Okay. Let's try to go manually restart that side. So we get more Glevin science going, because that's the current bottleneck right now is actually Glevin science. Granted, I think once we fix that, then it's going to move over to here. Though maybe not, because we have this one sped up. The speed 5, and I think this is the same speed as the Glevin. Oh, and we need to hook it up to target, this doesn't work. Not that we need it to work, per se, but we can always see if the system works if it had the ice. Obviously not import ice to Novice because, you know, we have this thing called liquid oceans here, but let me see if the power plant's gonna work. And to be fair, this should be like overkill. Super overkill. I think for our spaceship. Here comes the second power pole. When done, power goes to running in, and the heat starts to rise. Well, I suppose it did raise significantly the demand for uranium fuel. So maybe we don't have enough uranium fuel. That will be an interesting predicament. We do have more power, so I could probably just accelerate these uranium processing units. Just tell the whole setup you are allowed to go faster. Do I really have no speed 2 modules? Says we can just request some be dropped from orbit next time the ship comes by. This one does have some, yeah, so it'll drop by and it'll drop 50. Let's drop ourselves, we'll try to manually restart the upper Globin science. The upper Globin science is kind of weirdly balanced. Or if I don't do it right, then it stalls. If I do it wrong, then we get too many eggs. Okay, so it looks like it's working. We'll see whether or not that is actually the case in a moment. That should accelerate the Glebin science production. Which is that up to 1,000 of each launch. Anyway, I think we basically restarted the system at that point, so I might just let it do its thing. Hopefully it doesn't break again. You've arrived, you've prepared as well as you're going to, because everything's basically built at this point. And yeah, I think it's, assuming we don't see any necessary problems on Novice and the new, well, besides the fact that we don't got enough uranium stuff working. Oh, I know how to make this a little bit more reliable. Oh, are we full on the... Full on the... Yeah, that wasn't the problem I was expecting to be having. And that's why this isn't broken. Okay, isn't completely broken. It's because we're full on low quality stuff, apparently. Well, by low quality, we're full on the spicy rocks and not on the not spicy rocks. So, yeah, we need to fix that a bit to get the uranium fuel to be processed a little faster. Balance issues. But yeah, it is backing up because we barely use any down here. So this is a functioning power plant. It does, in fact, have full steam storage. So that should work. Let's, and yeah, we're gonna have to make the ship bigger. Let's just... Can I do like that? Just delete the entire contents of the ship? Yeah. And then we can look at our power plant. We can see the power plant's gonna basically eat up all the space. Power plant takes all the space. So needless to say, we're gonna have to make the ship bigger. The ship will need to be bigger. You know, let's actually put like there. And what I think I'm gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and put some more cargo bays on here. I'm not sure, I think we can, but I'm not sure if we can pull out of the cargo bays specifically. of course, the setup will need some solar power for cold starting it, at least. Only grab the uranium fuel. And yeah, that's probably overkill from an inserter to take out of the cargo bay standpoint, but hopefully that'll work. Okay, so you should now be able to request uranium fuel. For the moment, let's just go ahead and borrow the front end, some of the front end here of the chip we have. It's already somewhat functional. Yeah. Some of this, like this bit, doesn't need to be in there, but we'll take that out pretty easily. We don't necessarily need the speed modules for the moment. We're going to redesign all of that. And yeah, I think for the moment, well, I did grab most of that. We're gonna tear up the shooting component of the ship, mostly. And here, I might try to change the way the bullet turrets work. But yeah, we're going to want to put railguns and railguns in here somewhere. I think they got to go in front of the rocket turrets. So it's going to be railguns, rocket turrets, regular turrets in the back, and then probably a loose smattering of turrets around the butt. Far looser than this, at least. Okay, so we got a request for uranium fuel, so we'll be able to see if it works on receiving uranium fuel. I suppose to prime the system, we could ship up barrels. Okay, so it looks like we're not able to specify, or we're not able to grab from a cargo bay. Which, if that's the case, is fine. I can work with it. It's not a problem. I'm not sure if we can return to one either, but I just realized I will probably want the uranium. On the setter first. Okay, so the reactors are heating up. We'll need water for it to actually run, which means ideally we need ice protection on the ship. We want the sorting up front, sorting in the back. Probably the sorting in the back. So we're probably going to make the ship longer. And then up front here presumably then has to be shipping and receiving, because that's where the access point to our space platform hull, or space hub is. Oh, I suppose I can do a little bit of space saving. By popping those pipes out, so we don't need those electrical towers anymore. And we don't need these ones either. Yeah. Here you have water and storage, steam. Got no steam storage, so in theory, there's no power buffer if something happens to the fuel to panic and fly back. We do have a little bit of solar, which would function in most places in the solar system, at least. To a limited extent, enough to provide emergency power. So the solar is basically going to be the emergency power on the ship. Oops. So as I can design when I want them filtered. So for the moment, just offload bullets. Oh, and again, I probably don't need to go quite so ham on the turrets. Right. Up front, it probably makes sense to keep the higher density. What we can do is say, do something like this, but say no to the turrets in between. In fact, actually, need to go so far as to saying no. I probably want that one just for place and design purposes. Maybe one more down? I'll give us enough for sorting or something. Definitely, I think for this one, because we're going to be running the rail cannons on it, we might not want it to go as fast. But that doesn't necessarily mean I want it to go slow either. Let me check the math on this. So this is 1 makes 20. Oh, when we shove productivity in these, so these don't line up speed-wise. That's why we're always having water shortages. So we're getting a higher ice conversion, which probably made sense when we were... well, makes sense when we have ice shortages, right? I say as I see that we also have a bypass right on. Yeah, so it's 1 makes 20 every... Yeah, so the balance is right if these are actually running at the same speed. These aren't running at the same speed, which is why we have problems. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, this ship's not going to be flyable for a while, because I'm... at least... Yeah, it's not going to be flyable for a while, because I'm going to need to get the engines to work, right? Yeah, I think the ship's just going to be longer. Because I'm being a little bit lazy, not redesigning this thing to be smaller. And to be fair, I'm not sure if we can necessarily make it smaller at the moment. Oh, it doesn't necessarily... Because I only need 1-to-1, right? I need one ice maker to one of these, if they're working right. This is 7 deep. Okay, so that's not too bad. Okay, so we set you up to there. I don't think this is long enough to go underneath that, no. Maybe I don't want it there. We do need to get it into the middle, though. Oh, I'm also accidentally getting rid of my foundation. Doing the delete. There we go. That one didn't delete it. Oops. Okay, thinking we do something that looks like that. And we can... Oh, no, I can't connect there. That can't be the connection point. Connection point needs to go like there. Looks like I'm around the bottom, yeah. Trying to make it compact, but also at the same time I need to leave space to have things connect effectively. Well, I suppose we can do out to that side and flip these. So they actually go the other way around. Well, if we're doing that, we probably want to slide them one that way. Okay, that's the fuel maker, effectively. And then we probably want, so the thing doesn't stutter sometimes when we start stop, some sort of fuel storage. Yeah, I think this is going to be a slower ship than the Bob Vessel, but apparently it's got the same sort of end to the Bob Vessel for the moment. From an engine standpoint, it's going to have about the same number of engines. We might end up moving the whole thing at some point, but for the moment, that's a hypothetically functional drivetrain. Yeah, so that's a hypothetically functional drivetrain. We'll have some space there, we'll have some space there, we have some space there, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I probably don't have enough space to make bullets or rockets or the railgun ammo. So the holding's probably going to get extended at some point. Or even to sort the asteroids that are going to be coming in. And this is what we're doing while we're waiting for our science to do its thing. We don't think we're at the point where the Bob Fizzle needs to go get more science. Bob Fizzle isn't carrying any, so it could probably go get it pretty easily. And the science isn't ready. We're down to 7 or something. And apparently it is ice that is the issue. You're backed up with ammonia, so I apparently now need an ammonia sink instead of an ice sink. Okay. Well, we'll turn... Oh, no, actually, no. Undo that. Put that one back. Take that one away. What is the ammonia sink here? That's actually a good question. Well, the lithium is an ammonia sink, I suppose. Yeah, the lithium is our ammonia sink. So I could technically speed this lithium maker up by pulling the productivity modules out and swapping out for speed. Let's do that. Be a little bit less efficient, maybe we'll go through a little bit of polonium faster, but other than having to deliver it, I'm less bothered by that at this point. That makes us go through the ammonia. Is the ammonia actually all in one network? Did I manage to network it up? I did. And that phone call made me realize how much time has been passed, so I think we're going to have to go ahead and put a part break in here. We're making a little bit more progress. We got this ship back to Novice, which means with some modifications we can probably get it to fly back to Vulcanus. Might not fly very well, but we can jerry-rig something where we say, hey, we know we have bullet production here on Novice, for example, so instead of having it make its own bullets, we could just ship it bullets. Especially if we're going to go back to using the sushi belt solution to it. And we just need to fill it back up enough that it fills up the sushi belt and fills up the stockpile of bullets. Yeah, we have plenty on the planet. I don't have enough launch capacity on the planet. That's a different problem. But we got enough stuff. So that's not working the way I want to do. Let's see if I do a copy there. Yeah, that one's still not working. What I wanted to do is I wanted to try bulk removing the contents. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead, as soon as I'm done with this, so that I remember for the future, we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. We got more stuff to ship up, but we'll deal with it in the next part. So if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you've been enjoying. We'll probably get around to getting another part up for you tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, again, we're going to be doing a pop-up streams of this to try to finish it off quicker. There is a chance that this will actually occur during its normally scheduled time if we don't actually get it finished by then. But that's the plan right now. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. With that, bye for now.